Morning. My name is Dr. Zanfar Ali. Today is our topic is about the reactivity. Reactivity of the organism is the ability to change the functional activity of the systems and organ of the organisms, adaptation in a new vital condition of the environment, and finally for the survival. For the survival, the concept reactivity is common to the concept of resistance. It is like reactivity and resistance. Resistance is the stability state of the organism, is the condition of the influence of the pathogenic factor, like resistance, disease, resistance. So classification of the resistance is active resistance, passive resistance, based in the result of organism adaptation to the damage factor. Passive means causative by the anatomy, physiological peculiarities of the each organisms. Primary and secondary. The primary one include the congenital and the secondary one include the acquired, which occurs during the whole life is changed. Unspecific and specific. This unspecific is the opposition of the influence of many pathological agents, and specific is the opposition of the influence of the recognized agents. The classification of the reactivity is like to talk about the biological determined by the morphology and the physiological peculiarities like sex, age, constitution, heredity, regularity, environment, specific and specific. Like it is also divided into specific and unspecific. In fact, it is the physiological and pathological, and unspecific it is the physiological. Please stay outside. I am in the meeting. What are you doing? Uh, so specific means physiological and pathological, like immunodepressant condition, allergy, and unspecific means physiological and pathological include the shock, collapse, or necrosis. Individual activity. Some disease arises only in infant organism like measles, Zilius, smallpox. Similarly, children are less adapted to the sharp changes of air temperature. Infant organism is more resistant to the hypoxia than adults. Like individual activity resistance of the old organism to the infection is reduced, but the number of cancer ill and the atherosclerotic ill person are increased. People have very slowly developing inflammatory reaction. Individual reactivity of female organism varies. Like it is totally depends on the individuals. Like if it is present in the female, it is present in the male, it is present in the infants. It is like women live longer than the men. Men are physically stronger. So it is the individual reactivity of an organism towards the disease or any kind of condition in the body. Mechanism of unspecific reactivity are realized by means of nervous system reaction, nervous system, autonomic nervous system, endocrine system reactions, barrier system, cells reaction, and humoral reactions. So the barrier system include the preserve an organism against the pathological factors for the external environment, like external and internal barriers. The external barriers includes the mucous membrane, throat, respiratory, digestive, and unoriginal urogenal tracts, liver, spleen, and lymphatic nodes, and other organisms which have the cell of the system of mononuclear phagocytes. Examples include the blood brain, the blood eye issue, the blood lymphoma, labyrinthine, the blood testicular tissue. So thus, this is all the things you have to be observed in these pictures. Like this, like this is only talk about the blood-brain barrier, BBB, the blood-brain barrier. So it is also of the connective tissue, which surround the vessel and the penetrates in the tissue, executes the protective function too. So these are all the things as it is. I talk about this in the previous slide. For example, it is the small dose of ultraviolet radiation increase the resistance of one organism to the infectious disease, promote the synthesis of vitamin D. As you know, the sun used by the skin. The sunlight is used by the skin for the synthesis of vitamin D in the organism. A large amount of dose promotes of the development of the skin burn. Like it is also a individual activity can be changed as a result of influence of the factors of external environment. So like sharp changes of the weather, season of the air, climate, influence on the activity resistance too. So influence of the age on individual activity, like rapid aging, progeria. Habits of a child 2 to 5 years old. Influence of the age on individual reactivity, like progeria, rapid aging. This is the examples. After that constitution, it is complex of functional and morphological peculiarities of an organism which were derived by the heredity and which were formed during our life under the influence of the environment. It determines the reactivity of every individual. Constitutional types of Hippocrates and constitutive types by the like caloric and all the things are included in both types. Constitutional type like respiratory, digestive, muscular, and brain. Diathesis is a manifestation of the abnormal constitution, which is characterized by the abnormal interaction of an organism of the physiological and the pathological influence, like exudative, like lympho, polyplastic, after that the nervous, and the asthenic. This is the some example of the exudative cathedral, and I like told you the system of the mononuclear phagocytes, system of the mononuclear phagocytes. These are the bacteria I shown in the microscopic pictures of that. Humoral mechanism of that activity includes like a system of the complement has protective function, mediators of the humoral system, biological active substance and hormones. So the activity of defense from the environment, like it also defense used to like to defend from the environment. So like as I told you in the like in the blood brain like barrier. So thank you for your attention, and inshallah, the sequence of this lecture is being continues, and inshallah, we will meet in the next lecture. So take care.